Hey beautiful people, quick story. So the first time I wore this dress, I got compliments all day. I'm about to make this dress in every color that ever existed. But if you want to learn how to make this dress for yourself, then keep watching this video. You're gonna need the following tools, and my fabric of choice for this dress is non-stretch cotton-based fabric. These are the measurements that you're gonna need. This is a very easy dress to make. You can find a tutorial for this sewing pattern in the description box down below. And if you're making this pattern from scratch, then make it the length that you want your dress to be. Fold the fabric twice and mark your bust circumference divided by 4 inches at the top. So this curved line should measure your bust circumference divided by 4. There's a good chance that your fabric isn't going to be long enough to accommodate the length that you want your dress to be. So what you're going to have to do is to cut some of the excess fabric from one side of your fabric and put that on the shorter side of your fabric. So as you can see, this end that I'm measuring right now is much longer than the end that I was measuring before. So I'm cutting away the excess, and that excess is going to serve as my lengthener for the shorter side. So after all that piecing together, I actually have a piece that's long enough now to give me the circle that I want. So I folded my fabric in half like this to form a triangle, and here I am measuring from the tip of the triangle all the way around to make sure that the arc is equal from all angles. Once you have that perfect arc, go ahead and cut along the line that you just drew. By the time you're done cutting and you fold that piece out, you should end up with a perfect circle. The next step is to measure from the top down to the length that you want the dress to be. So if you want your dress to be 31 inches long, then you're gonna measure 31 inches from all the different points of the top and make enough marks so that by the time you're done, you can connect all those dots and have a perfect curved line like this. Then you're gonna cut along the curved line, and with that being done, it should look like this. If it looks like this, you're on the right track and you should give this video a thumbs up. Next, you're gonna measure and mark about 5 inches down from the top. Make sure that your fabric is folded and you have 2 layers, and use a French curve to make a curve for the armhole. Then you're gonna cut along that line. My dress actually had a lot of side boob showing, so if you don't want no side boob, then make your line just about 3 inches from the top instead of 5. Once that's done, you want to turn your armhole in by at least 1/4 of an inch and stitch along there. I also gathered the top of my dress to give it a nice full body look, and I also did it so that it would fit on the top where the straps are gonna pass through. So I stitched 2 parallel lines at the top. One of them was 1/4 of an inch away from the top, and the second one was 1/4 of an inch away from the first one. And now with that being done, you want to hold on to the bottom threads and pull your fabric along. Next thing that you want to do is to measure and to mark your across chest measurement plus an extra inch on 2 pieces of fabric. cut away the excess, and then you want to iron in by about 1/2 of an inch on both sides. Pin the dress and the top of the dress right sides together, and you're gonna line up the sides with each other. Stitch here with 1/2 inch seam allowance, and you're gonna do that for the back of the dress and the front of the dress. And now that that's done, it should be looking like this. And where you see me with these pins right here, you want to top stitch those areas. If you wanted to top stitch before you added it to the dress, you could. Fold the top edge of this piece down by 1/2 of an inch and iron it. Once you've ironed it, you want to fold it back down on top of the gathers, place some pins, and you're going to stitch along the bottom edge. If you want to stitch in the ditch so your thread won't show, then that's fine. But for me, I was okay if my thread was showing, so I just did an edge stitch just about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. The next thing you want to do is to cut some strips of fabric that are on the bias. So this here is what I cut from the bottom of my circle, and luckily it was already on the bias, so I'm just using this to cut these strips. And once these strips are cut, you want to join them together like this. Place them diagonally and stitch along that line right there. If you want to know how to do this, then watch this video so you can figure that out. But once that's done and you have those 2 long strips, you're gonna fold them in half, put pins along the sides, and stitch with a 1/4 inch allowance from the top to the bottom. This video is sponsored by Quaint Bags, the one-stop shop for Africa-inspired vegan leather handmade bags. This is the Zuri Tote, and I styled it really well with the dress I'm showing you how to make today. If you want to purchase this bag, go to quaintbags.com. Use a safety pin to turn the straps inside out. And once that's done, you're gonna feed the straps through the front and back of the neckline of the dress. Then you can go ahead and tie the straps accordingly, however you want them. Hem the dress by folding and stitching with a 1/4 inch allowance. You're gonna fold twice. And this can get a bit tricky because you're stitching along a curve, but just stick through it. You'll survive. Finally, iron the hem of your dress so that it will look nice and flat. And if you love how your dress turned out, then tag me in your pics on Instagram @SewQuaint. Subscribe for more sewing tutorials. Give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.